Here you go. Here's the video. What we're going to do, I'm going to show you my GitHub workflow using the GitHub command line tool, which is awesome. I mean, it's just awesome. It's awesome. In fact, I hate saying this because I used to really like GitLab too, but there's the GitHub command line tool. You can hate on Microsoft and GitHub all you want. The GitHub command line tool, I mean, let's be real. This thing is amazing. And everybody knows that I rant when I don't like something. So this is a good chance for me to share something that I really love. Really, really deeply love this. So as usual, I'm going to show it to you from the perspective of something that I need. All right. So we'll put the fishies to sleep. Goodbye, fishies. And here I am working on SkillStack, and so I'll take an opportunity to plug it right now. If you go to skillstack.io, you can see the website out here. And I have this thing called nice comments. You can click on nice comments. All these really nice things that happy people have told me, which keeps me going. And recently there was somebody told me something nice in Discord, and I want to go at it. So I went ahead and I made the change. This is me in my github.com/artifactsrob skillstack. And we are here under skillstack docs. This is using Markdown, make docs, which I'll talk about in other videos. And here you see this nice.md file, which I have already added a new nice comment. Hey, Rob, I want to thank you personally for putting out a number of years that actually helped me get a Linux job as a platform engineer in London. Yay, team. I love it. So I added this, and then you know, this is not about Git. This is just about, you know, how GitHub command line tool can help you with this. So this is my own personal docs repo. This is something that is just me. There's not a lot of people here, but I actually think following the same development Git workflow, if you will, is a valuable thing. And we're going to talk about what that is and how to do it. So the first rule, the first law of development, at least in the circles that I hang out in, is thou shalt not commit to main. Why? We're not going to talk about why. You can go ask and get the debate about that and ask other people why. But at the end of the day, committing to main is a bad idea, so you should lock that down. So let's first of all start by how do you lock a repo down? And I haven't figured out a way to make this by default. I promise we're going to get to the command line, but there's some other things we kind of got to do in the process. I probably can make a separate video, but I'm going to go ahead and try to do that really quickly right now. So if you go to this SkillStack repo, artifactsrob/skillstack, and I click on settings here, under branches, under branches is main, and you probably don't have any protection rules set up. So you might want to add a rule. And I am not, and I'm going to say it again, you know, disclosure, I am not an expert on branch protection rules. You need to be, you know, talk to a better DevOps person than I am. This is just me sharing you my settings and how, you know, in fact, I got them wrong. I made a video and I got the settings wrong. I had to redo the video. That's how bad I am. But let me show you what I have. So first of all, I had to set main here, right? Applies to one branch main. And then the first thing is require a pull request before merging. This is the most basic thing. If you don't know what a pull request is and you know what merging is, then this video is not for you. You need to go back and learn that from Git first. Require approvals. Normally, I'll have that on. Normally, I'll have request review. Require approval of the most recent review. I've taken approvals and reviews off. This is actually really good to have on every team that I've been in that's used the Git process. We have this on, even if it's documentation, because that means at least one other set of eyes have looked at it. And you might think that it's annoying, but I'm telling you right now, it is not annoying. It is not annoying. Even if you think it's just a typo change, a couple of things by doing the review, by enabling reviews for your whole team, will give you. But the main thing that it gives you is the safety of numbers and also causes you to pause and say, do I really need, is there enough in this PR to justify bothering my buddy over here to get them to review it? And if not, maybe I should put more things into it. You don't want to get too big of a PR, right? You want to keep the PRs relatively small and reviewable so that it doesn't take, 2 days for somebody to review your PR. But at the same time, it does cause you to think about it. Like, okay, well, what else can I put in here? Even if it's just one line, that's great, right? Just tell them, hey, go look at I get this one line approved. Boom, you're good to go. Somebody's backed you up, and you've made sure to follow your process. So I think having at least one approver is a good thing. The only reason I'm turning this off right now is because it's just me. It's just me in here. If I were to have other people in here, other collaborators in here, I would turn that on. Require status checks to pass before merge. This is super important because a status check includes an action where if it doesn't build or any of those things. So I turn that on. The rest of the stuff I have off. There's probably a reason to turn some of that on. I don't have it on right now. This one is important. Do not allow bypassing the above settings, not even for me. I actually had this off when I first did this, and it said the above settings will apply to administrators with custom roles with bypass branch protections, which I believe is the default for the owner of the repo, which is why I was like, hey, I'm supposed to be blocked. And I went to go commit and it said, bypassing rule, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I didn't want to bypass it. I didn't force it. And I thought allow force pushes was gonna make it so that I could get by it, but I would have to do a -F to force it. Turns out no, because I'm apparently an administrator or custom role with bypass branch protections on. Bottom line, turn this on, and then even if you're the owner, it'll keep you honest, and you can go ahead and click save changes on that. And let me show you what happens when you try to commit with that on. So normally I would do git add. Actually, because nice is already committed, I don't have to do that. I can just do commit nice -m, add nice thing. And then, git status, git status, git push, and boom, denied. I am totally denied. Denied. I am pronouncing things so interestingly today. All day I've been. There you go. So can't do it. It's like, well, what the hell? Oh, that's right. I'm supposed to follow my own PR process. I forgot. Silly me. Now this is actually kind of annoying because I have done this so many times, and I'm like, but I want my change back. How do I get it back? Right? It can't undo it because I already committed it. How do I do it? Anybody else out there in video land know? It's actually not that hard. It's git reset head tilde, and you can put tilde 1 if you wanted to. That says head -1, and that will take you back one. And if you've already done just the one, and now it's back to as if I hadn't committed it. And that's important because you know that commit. Otherwise, if I would have a hard time getting it back. So I'm showing you that because it's a very common thing to do. You go into main, and you forgot to do the thing I'm about to show you, and you can go back. Yep. You could also amend the last commit. I suppose I haven't tried that. I just like the rolling it back, and that's what that does. So yeah, so this is the real guts of this video, what I'm about to do. So when I have a change, my personal preference is to always have an issue for everything. And the reason for that is because the issue can be the thread. It can be the thread. It can be used as a thread of conversation about the thing that was changed. And the issue can be closed before it even turns into something else. But, by having an issue, you've got something to refer to and before you even start the conversation about whether the work is going to be done. And then you can use the issue as the anchor for the branch and the PR and everything to come after that. And again, this is primarily, this is only for repos where everybody's a collaborator on the repo already. This isn't for forking somebody else's repo and merging that in. It's sort of a different process for that. And so what is the thing here? So in this case, it seems like overkill, but it's actually not too hard to make an issue. And again, issues include enhancements, right? So, hey, this is something new that I'm adding. It's not a break fix or whatever. So I tend to do this. Now, this is some place where I diverge from some of my peers. They would rather just create a branch and then a PR and then go. they don't create an issue that kind of roots all of that, and that's totally fine. But I like to have an issue. So issue create is the way to do this. Um, but I actually have a command that I use for issues. Exit get a gh issue edit, so edits the issue if it already exists, and if not, it makes a new one. So I'm going to do issue enter, and I'm going to say add a nice comment about person who got a job. And I mean, if I wanted to, I could put a full long markdown, body in there if I really wanted to. I'm going to go ahead and submit that. Oh no, I didn't make it an enhancement. Let's do that. Issue 28 opens it up. Let's go label it. And let's label it as an enhancement. I mean, you don't have to do this if you don't want, but that's what I'm going to do. So, and issue. So that's going to do it. GH issue view. I mean, there's so many cool things you can see here. Whoops, 28, and that'll show you. That's all charm bracelet, by the way. That stuff, all that really great markdown rendering is coming from charm bracelet. Bash Bunny, who is a Twitch streamer, works for Charm, and actually helped with an issue that I submitted about tar bombs that they were creating. So I really love Charm, by the way. That's one of my. I'm just going to put a note out here. If you want to look at a project, there's several projects you can look at. I recently did a video about how can I learn Go, what projects should I do, and I also added what projects you could study to understand Go. And one of the projects that I feel very strongly that you should study is the GitHub command line tool. It's really well done. I believe it's one of the better command line tools, and it uses really standard tooling. I may take exception with what Cobra has done, but the use of Cobra and the use of Charm and all of those kind of things, I really feel like the GitHub command line tool has been well done from internally as well as just the overall design of the product. So have a look at that. So there's my issue. So how do we? Okay, Rob, we got an issue. Now what? Right. I also have an issues command that shows me all my issues on this particular command. So you can look at this VIC issue, exec issue list. What is VIC? VIC is a VI that opens it with which, checks to see where the command is, and then exits VI and opens it up at that location. So I don't have to know where it is. I can just, if it's a command in my path, I can open it. So that's what's going on there. And then we have, so there's the issues, the enhancement is there, and it's ready to go. Now here comes the cool thing, and this only works with a relatively new version of the GitHub command line tool. In fact, I think it was added last year. And it's kind of in the, off in this sort of this, bywaters and sort of the dark corners of GitHub. That's why I'm making a video. So once you have an issue, you can do this. But believe me, this takes care of a lot of steps all at once. GH issue develop -C. And you can read all about that, but let's do develop-H for you to see what it is. So what does develop do? Develop will go out and build a branch for you, get you into the branch properly, check the branch out, and get you ready to start editing all in one shot. And these are things you should probably know how to do from the command line using Git individually, but this tool is so great for that I honestly don't do that. I just use the GitHub tool. So GitHub issue, issues. I need to see what one it is. The 26.8. Okay. GH issue develop -C 28. And when you do that, it creates this branch for you. It pushes the branch up and everything. So it's all ready to go. You can actually go check your branch up here. It's not a PR yet. It's just a branch, but we're going to get there. So right now it's a branch. It should be a branch. Did I not push the branch yet? Oh, I haven't pushed the branch yet. Silly me. Of course I have to push the branch. I thought I pushed the branch for you. I guess not. I guess it didn't push the branch for you. It probably shouldn't. That's probably a good thing. I'm glad I checked. Huh. All right. Anyway, so now we can do our change. Let's actually go ahead and make our change. Oh, it already had the change from the other one, right? So now I can do my commit, git commit. I already have a commit, so I can go find it in my history. By the way, I'm using set-ovi. I don't believe in all the stupid stuff that people use with Z shell, but we don't want to talk about that right now. Git commit. You see how fast I found the firmware thing? I didn't have to have it, AI assistance. Add nice thing, same commit. Git push, right? We could git push that. Let's do that. All right, so now we should have. Did I click on the wrong thing? Where's skill stack? Branches. What? I think it was already there. I think it was already there, and then I just pushed it to it, but it doesn't matter because now it's really there. So here is the branch. You can compare and pull request if you want to do it that way, but I don't. So I want to pull request. So maybe there's several things that in this particular issue, I don't. Okay, so on this particular issue, there's not a lot of things that I'm going to be adding to it. But what I do want to show you is a way for you to use the PR process as a draft, so you can make multiple commits under a single PR and monitor them as a team. And this is really valuable. I should probably do a video just on this part, but I still want to show you. So how do I make a PR? GHPR create -D for draft. Why would I create a draft? Because I want to be able to do real time. You can actually, it pulls a title in for you, which is totally fine for me. I do a lot of times edit this stuff for the draft here. Like for example, something like this, I will generally do like this. This is, using one of those things, and so if you had a bigger PR, I could say add another nice thing, and submit that as a draft. And we can go open up this pull request. And you can see here, it's got these little things. Here's something cool. When you click on this, it actually commits it. Isn't that neat? That actually makes a change. By clicking on those things, it actually changes it. Add another nice thing. What I'm trying to say is you can use the PR as kind of an umbrella for all of the work. And that's obviously regularly used by people. And something else that's kind of cool, this is something I noticed yesterday when I did it, is because I deploy this using Netlify. Netlify and MakeDocs already has a bot that's built in. So I can actually preview my deployment through Netlify. How cool is that, right? And I can watch the deployment to Netlify. Now, this is kind of bonus content for this particular video. But as you can see, because I followed the PR process, Netlify is happy. And the thing that's really great about that is that if you follow the PR process like I've been demonstrating, then everybody else is expecting that kind of thing. So it's pretty normal. And I can click on the preview thing. And so here's this is previewing my website using this. And I can go to the nice comments section. I can scroll down and I can see a preview of Mehmet's comment here. So, I mean, it goes without saying that following the PR process is going to help you, because that's what people are used to doing. It's so much so that even Netlify's automated process of previewing has it built in, and that will get covered again when we do how to use MakeDocs and why you would want to use MakeDocs. But here's the official site where it hasn't been done there. So back to the pull request. Now we have a pull request here. And it shows that it is a draft. It should say that it's a draft. There it goes. That means it's not ready yet. But you can click on it, and then you can actually have dialogue. You can add reviewers. People can look at the files. They can click on the files, and they can say, oh, that is a really nice comment, right? So you can have your whole team, making threaded conversations about it. And this is really phenomenal because as people are making actual code changes, other people can comment on it without cutting and pasting into Slack or something, where the conversation is going on. They can actually, come in here and they can write down right where the comment is, and you can have a threaded conversation that's relevant to that particular section of code. It's super cool. And if you do it as a draft, one of the things that's really great, especially if you're a remote employee or you're working with a remote team, everybody can watch your development on your PR in pseudo real time as long as you regularly commit. So if I wanted to make another change here, I could make another commit. I could say another nice thing, right? And I don't know, name rando text I don't know. I can't do it. I'm trying to think, but nothing happens. Something else. Something else, right? And then I can do git commit nice add another nice thing. But I promise you that whole creating an issue thing, the issue is actually going to get automatically closed as well as the PR. We're going to get there, so stay tuned. So git push, and again, it's still a draft PR. It's still a draft PR. Now, if I had started a review, it would have been negated automatically based on our settings. And you click on files change, and then we see, oh, hey, that's a nice comment. And then after the comment, something else changed. You're like, oh, wow, another one or something, right? And you can start a review if you want to, review pending, owner, author, reply, and finish your review. So if you're doing reviews, you can do that. It's like amazing or something, and you can preview and click on approve. You can request changes, which I have done at work many times. What am I missing? Basic drop comment approve pull requests. Oh wait, because I don't need I don't need approval. So this is like an unsolicited review. I think that's why it's doing that. Normally I would have to click on the approve, but since I don't have approvers on, I think I think that's what happened. I don't know. I think that's probably related to the fact that I don't have we have checks that have not completed yet. Oh, all the checks have passed. Oh my god. Okay, so now it's ready for review. Oh, okay. Oh no. That click that I just did. Oh, it's too bad I did that. Okay, so you can click on that thing that I just clicked on, and that'll make your change it from a draft into ready. But another way to do that from the command line is to do GHPR ready, and that just changes it as ready to be reviewed, and then people can go, oh, okay, yeah, all these things are done, and I should actually be able to review. I think the reason it blocked the review before is because the checks weren't done. Just resolve this conversation. You got to resolve all the conversations in mine. Mine requires you to resolve the conversations before you can submit a review. It does say squash and merge. There's no thing there. I'm going to go ahead. I don't think request. I can request reviews from other people if they want to see it, if they're collaborators. I think you can request other people that are not collaborators as well. But anyway, so now what, right? Well, generally speaking, at this point, I would usually hit squash and merge, and we could get into a huge debate about whether you should squash and merge or not. That is my general preference to do that. You can do this from the command line, but I generally don't do it. So you can do GHPR, merge a pull request. Honestly, I almost always click on, because I'm usually looking at all of the input from everybody, which is actually easier to do. There are so many cool things you can do with the GA. So for example, if you are reviewing a PR, you can actually do GHPR clone or checkout, and that will check out the PR, and you can go through and look at the code as code. But the reason I don't do that generally is because it's not as easy to read and isolate the changes and to have a conversation thread from the command line. That's one of the cases where a GUI actually really helps. And usually when I'm going through this, just clicking on squash and merge is so easy that I tend to do that instead of doing it from the command line. But I'm pretty sure you can do it from the command line as well. Create a merge commit, rebase, or squash and merge. So again, I'm attempting to do this instead of just clicking right here. And we're going to click squash and merge, delete the branch locally on GitHub. This is cool. If you do it in the web UI, it will actually ask you, thank you for that. If you do it on the web UI, it will also show that you are, that it'll ask you, do you want to delete the branch? And so either place it'll ask you. So we're going to say yes. And we'll say edit submit. Submit comment subject message. Nope. Just go ahead and submit it. and squashed the merge, and it pulled it all down, and it also updated my main all in one shot. I mean, that's pretty damn cool. Did you see all that stuff it did? It's pretty cool. Okie dokie. It's got it all the way set up, you know, and I don't have to do a git pull. I'm back to main again, and my changes have been made. Um, and if you go here, see it says it shows that they got merged and committed, and then the branch got restored. You can actually restore the branch in GitHub. I never do, but you can. And now the new site is up, and it will just be a few minutes before the actual changes are in the official site. In fact, because I am using, let's see how long it takes. Actually, if we click on deployment, we should be able to see the site overview. This is more of a, there it goes, published. So this triggered the webhook for Netlify to automatically publish my site. And now when I hit enter, Rando is still there. So I'm definitely going to have to remove the Rando from my production site. But you get the point. Hopefully that's been fun for you. If you have questions or comments, the best way to take care of that is coming on into the Discord. Start a thread on the SkillStack GitHub wiki or whatever it is, or come on into Twitch and ask us. And hopefully you'll have fun using the GitHub command line tool. I love it, and I think it's the way to go. I think everybody should do it. I think following the PR process will help keep you safe. And by the way, one last thing before we leave. You can actually start multiple PRs for different things. So let me give you an example of where that's going to be useful for me. In the SkillStack Beginner Boost, I have subdivided the content based on, so the subdivision of job, web, Linux, bash, code, C, Go, and containers. And each one of these is going to be content that I'm sort of developing on the fly as I go, that I don't necessarily want to commit to the main tree, but I would really like to be able to preview just like I showed you, right, on Netlify. So one of the great advantages of using this PR-driven development like this, using draft mode, is I can actually create a PR for each one of these, and I can have development on each of those branches, and I can switch back and forth through those branches when I want to work on one thing and not the other one. And because I know for a fact that there's not going to be overlap in the documentation or the code, I know that they'll eventually merge cleanly. So why is that valuable? In this particular case, that means that I can actually develop for things that I am not going to be finishing for a very long time, but I can work on that in that PR, on that draft, and I can see my history of development on that. And other people can watch my development if they want to see, well, what has he been working on for the C stuff? They want to preview it. They can kind of look ahead and see in the PR. But it doesn't bother the people that are seeing the main site. And this is something I have struggled with in the past. Those of you who know me know that I tend to push stuff out that's unfinished, rather than wait around for everything to be perfectly clean and pretty. I mean, just look I got just my laundry right there. I mean, I would rather produce something than nothing and wait around for it to be perfect. Sometimes that works against me, but most of the time it's an advantage because people can see the process as it's happening, and I believe in it. So the PR process, the PR branch Git process that I just showed you, actually plays really nicely with that, because it's kind of this middle ground between finished content that's been published, behold my content, or the hey, this is what's coming kind of stuff, right? So it doesn't show up in main unless it's it's been really vetted, and if I had another teammate, I would have them review it and make sure that's what we really want to do. So basically it's a different level of editing and finishedness, if you will, for that content. So that means probably the first one that you're going to see here is going to be job. So job will be the first one that'll show up, and I'm not going to commit job until all of the development on everything that I want in that particular module is done, until all of those videos are done, until all of the the initial content is done, so people can go read ahead and do that module as they wish, and prepare in sort of a flipped classroom environment, which I'll do another video on. so that when we have a conversation about what they should have been watching and reading and doing before we do it, they're all going to be ready to do that. So, and then web and Linux, but when I have those tangential thoughts about Linux and Bash encoding, I can capture that right away, even make a video about it, and I can actually put it into the PR for that thing without it affecting the main site and without people following the site. This is something that's particularly important. So if people are over here following SkillStack, which I suggest you do, maybe take a moment right now. When they're following SkillStack, they'll see in their, if they want to see, oh, is there anything new on SkillStack or anything new going on, then they're not going to be overwhelmed with a bunch of tiny little inconsequential edits to stuff that's not immediately relevant. So when they see, in this particular case, when they see job drop, that whole thing, it'll be like, oh, okay, it's ready to go. And the thing that's so cool about that is that people can follow my GitHub and they can be notified when there's new content for them to read. And I don't have to build a system for that. I don't have to plug in a bot to Discord to tell everybody, hey, I can just say, plug in the regular Git kind of commit bots that already exist in Meepo and other places for people to know that there's been a change. Because the PR thread isn't going to ever hit the radar of the main site. And so in the past, I've been making random changes all through the stuff, all into the main branch, and that could confuse somebody trying to follow, but going, why is he committing stuff for the Go Enterprise? We don't even start that until January, and they might, get sucked down a rabbit hole, and it would be better for them to pay attention to the stuff that's going to be discussed in the coming weeks, in this case, job. So there are a lot of advantages to following the branched PR development process, whether it's for documentation or it's for, just regular, code. I mean, there's a million reasons, but the main reasons are it organizes your work. It creates a linear history that is shareable and publishable with everybody. It creates an opportunity for people to have threaded conversations that are tied to specific line numbers. It gives opportunities for people to submit issues and feedback, and for you to request feedback from particular people. And it allows many, many other people to come in and collaboratively develop on whatever it is, whether it's a static website, or it's a document, a PDF, a potential ebook, or a more complicated complete example, maybe a Twitch bot or whatever the hell you want to work on with somebody else. So hopefully that's been a good introduction to the GitHub command line tool and the issue-driven PR process as a method of development. It's my favorite, and I imagine it will remain my favorite for some time. I'll be putting tweaks out there to it, and when I do, I'll make another video for that. But this video will become a part of the boost to go through sort of the deep dive about how to do development using the GitHub command line tool, because we're only going to really touch on using the tool and getting it set up. And then this is kind of the extra meat for those who want to learn how to use that right away. So thank you for watching. Talk to you soon.